All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch today or to listen. This is episode one of the Puerto Rican Cultural Center's Business Initiatives podcast. And we have a very special guest to go ahead and kick this off, Mr. Ziad Farhan, who is the owner of Municipal Supermarket, which is right in the middle of Humboldt Park on the corner of Division and Brockwell. Mr. Farhan has been in business for 40 years now, and he's actually celebrating this week with his 40-year anniversary. I believe that's correct, right, Mr. Farhan?
Yes, hi. Nice having me. Thank you for having me, Manuel. And I've been here for 40 years. I like to introduce myself. My name is Ziad Farhan. I was born in a refugee camp. They call it Kadura refugee camp in Ramallah, Palestine.
Okay.
And I was born in Ramallah itself.
Wow. And I didn't know that personally. Can you tell me a little bit about that? What was your experience there, and how did that kind of shape, your life?
As a Palestinian and a refugee, you lived in refugee camps after before the war and after the war of '67.
Right.
It's a lot of difference when you leave your country and you start your own life and your own business for a better life
Right.
than being under occupation,
Right.
Israeli occupation for the last 70 years.
Right.
It's a lot of challenge.
Yeah. And then you came to the United States when you were young, or how did you come over to the
So
U.S.?
when I left Ramallah, I was exactly 14 years old,
Wow.
and
Okay.
we left. Me and my brother Basim, we left straight to Puerto Rico, which is my
Oh wow.
father. Yeah, my father was living in Puerto Rico for the last 15 years
Hmm.
in 1970. Uh, and he received us in Puerto Rico with my uncle. And we lived that day, we lived in Yauco.
Oh wow.
Then,
Okay.
yeah. Then we, after Yauco, we lived there for 2, 3 months. We bought a house in San German next to Reparto Universitario de San German, Interamericana,
Okay.
Inter-American University in San German.
Hmm.
And we moved next to the university and we stayed there for 8 years. And after that, uh, uh, we moved in 1976. We moved here to Chicago.
Wow. So you went from being in Ramallah to then going to Yauco and then to Chicago. That's quite the journey. So what was your
Yeah.
experience like in Puerto Rico?
Well, I was young. I was 14 years old. But believe it or not, that was my best 8 years in life. I was a teenager
Yeah.
and handsome man.
There you go.
Yeah, and it was an excellent experience. Then we start working.
Hmm.
My father taught us how to be involved in our own business
Okay.
and selling merchandise in
Hmm.
Los Campos,
Okay.
and gold. We selling gold, bed supplies, kitchen supplies, and things like that. And that's how we learned become independent, self businessman.
That's amazing. So you got started pretty young in business, right? And your
Yeah,
father kind of mentored you and
and
guided
and
you and your
also
brother.
also I studied at nighttime in San Herman, so I
Okay.
could force the language of to learn the language of Spanish and I learned it very quickly. Matter of fact,
That's awesome because I've actually heard you speak to multiple people within the community
yeah,
in Spanish, and
yeah,
it's amazing to see like your proficiency in it because you speak it really well, and I can hear a little bit of the Puerto Rican accent come out of there too. So being
yeah,
from technically like you're kind of from Yauco because your formative years were there, right? And that's kind of where you, like you said, being a teenager and having that experience kind of helped make you made you who you are. So I can hear it in your Spanish that you're authentically
yeah.
from Yauco. That's awesome. And then
I speak fluently three languages: English, Spanish, and Arabic.
that's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I took Arabic in college actually. So I learned how to write it a little bit, and then speaking it was very difficult because there was like four H sounds and three S sounds, and I found it was easier to write it than it was to speak it. But I kind of
yeah.
forgot all of it now because it was so long ago. But no, it's a beautiful language when you see it written. So that's amazing. So you went from Puerto Rico, learned business there, and then you came over here. And then, um, how did you get started in Humboldt Park?
Well, when we came here to United States,
Mm-hmm.
uh, my brother worked for Basim. He worked for uh, the city of Chicago, Human
Okay.
Services, and I worked for city of Chicago as a truck driver.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So in 1979, he when we were working, he was looking for the Spanish community where they at, and he found out. He's the one who found out this corner to open the
Mm-hmm.
business. He found out that the Puerto Rican community is in well established in Humboldt Park.
Right.
So he was after this corner. It was a very small corner. It was like a thousand square foot or 1,500 square foot store when he found it, and it was an old Jewish man, and we had a chance to buy it.
Okay.
So we quit our jobs from the city, and
Wow.
we came, yeah, and we started in Humboldt Park with this business.
And what year was that?
That was in 1979, the end of 79, November
77.
79. Yeah,
Wow. Okay. So yeah. So
yeah,
exactly 40 years ago. That's amazing. So you had the city job. You're here with your brother, and then you guys just said, you know what, we're gonna take the plunge. We're gonna take the leap and go
yeah,
right for it. Right. Um,
exactly.
how did you plan for that? Was that something that you planned for a while to do, or was it kind of like you saw this opportunity and knew that this was going to be the place where you could call home for your business?
Well, as we learned in Puerto Rico through my father,
Mm-hmm.
to work for ourselves and to work for with the Latin community, especially the Puerto Rican community,
Yeah.
it was a good chance and a good opportunity to start our business in Humboldt Park. And uh, we never changed the name of the store. Municipal always stayed as municipal food.
Ah, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. So we took over. We had, I remember we had $35,000. That's
Mm.
our savings. We didn't have a dollar more than that. We gave I think he, excuse me, he asked for $100,000 for the store. We
Okay.
gave him 35,000, and we told him we'll pay him in payments, which is we did.
Right.
And we start working in the store and establishing ourselves in the store in the corner. Uh, then, as I said, our experience with the Puerto Rican community and with the Latin community, we were very happy
Mm-hmm.
uh, to, to to continue the experience from Puerto Rico to Humboldt Park.
That's amazing because it seems like a natural transition for you to be able to go, from Puerto Rico to Chicago and Humboldt Park. Can you
Exactly.
share your experience about building your business? How was it,
With
leaving
what,
your
Manuel?
with building your business. So, for example, you left your job where most people they go to a job, right? They clock in, they work, they do their job, they clock out. And oftentimes, what I tell entrepreneurs or people that want to get started with business is that they want to do it because they want freedom. They want to have this. They have this idea that they'll work for themselves. They don't have to answer to anyone, which in part it can be true. But as an entrepreneur, I find you're always working, right? Like you can't just clock out like you would any other job. So there's almost less freedom in the sense that since it's your business and no one else is going to take care of it for you, it's all up to you. So can you share your experience about how you built your business and going from the job, right, that you quit and then now being full-time entrepreneur in the 70s, in the early 80s, and during this crazy time when, the neighborhood and everything in Chicago and all of this stuff going on around you, and how did you build your business through all of that?
All right. Those days, Manny, it was a very hard time to
Mm-hmm.
start your business. You had to depend on yourself 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Banks, they wasn't given money on loans, and and it was a low income area,
Mm-hmm.
Humboldt Park. So banks, they wasn't throwing money into the area itself.
Right.
So we had to depend on ourselves. So when we started this business, me and my brother, we put our own funds in there
Mm-hmm.
in the store, and we started working. I remember uh, he quit his job, I quit mine, and we started working from 8 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night,
Wow.
every single day and every single night for the next uh, uh, 30 years, I guess.
Was that
30,
like 7 days a week?
7 days a week.
Wow.
And
Okay.
then I went to Jerusalem and I got married,
Okay.
and I have beautiful two boys and two girls, and I have 11 grandkids, the most beautiful creatures
Wow.
in the world. Without them, I cannot smile.
That's amazing. You're smiling right now in case people are just
Yeah,
listening.
they
The
are.
smile on your face takes up the whole screen. So
Yeah,
I can definitely see
they
how
are.
much they mean to you.
Believe me, Manny, they are my love and my heart. Honestly,
That's so amazing.
mashallah.
Yeah,
And
that's beautiful.
yeah, and when I came and I got married, and we worked so hard for like 10 years straight. I told
Hmm.
my brother, listen, I have kids, and now we have to start taking a day off for
Hmm.
the kids and for their family, and that's how we started taking a day off a week. Before that, I was waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, going to the market, which is the produce market,
Okay.
and getting the produce for the store and to serve the community, which is jautia, malanga, green banana,
Hmm.
platanos, and all the stuff
All the good stuff.
uh, uh, for 10 years straight before I took off. And he got married with a Puerto Rican lady, and he got a boy and a girl, and he started taking off on Sundays. We were a little bit tired then, but there is nothing better than working for yourself, Manny.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that
Yeah,
I love malanga, so I can only
yeah.
imagine,
And
like all
we
the good
still
stuff you
have
used to
it.
get. Yeah, I
We
gotta pick
still
some
have
up
it till
after
this
this.
day.
That's so awesome. So it took you about what, 10 years to finally decide I'm gonna take a day off. Does that
Yeah,
sound about
yeah.
right? That's incredible.
That's how hard we worked and how hard committed ourselves to a success.
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
shows. It shows in the business when you walk in. It's super clean, organized. I mean, when you walk in, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. People should definitely go and check it out. And you have everything there you could possibly want in a supermarket. So
yes.
it shows your commitment to that and to the community itself. Um, as far as the challenges you faced in business, How did you overcome those challenges?
Uh, Challenges itself, we thought, um, I wrote a note here. I like to read it.
Sure.
Not read it, but taken. Uh, like I said, working for yourself, it was a challenge,
Right.
and uh, the competition, it was a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
We started getting our business. We expand our business into Puerto Rico. We start getting stuff from Puerto Rico directly,
Okay.
like all the Ricao, Ajise Dulce, Malanga, Jautia, Niame.
Yeah.
We start getting it from a company by the name of Cheche.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a good challenge for us to succeed in business, which is we did. Thanks God. With the help of me and my brother, and to be united and to be together, uh, you have to force yourself to a success in life.
Yeah.
The challenge was, how should I say it? Uh, when we started and did good in this corner, we needed to expand
Mm-hmm.
our business, which is, I remember it used to be a currency exchange next to us and another building next to us. We went to SBA and they gave us a loan. I think it's 100,000 to
Mm-hmm.
buy those buildings and expand ourselves, which
Okay.
is we did, and I made a nice square building before this big one now. Then that was a challenge for us to go in a bigger space and a bigger business pioneer to see if we could succeed or not. But we
Right.
depended on ourselves too much.
Now, question for you, because you said you started out in a smaller location, right? And then you decided after some time to expand into the bigger one. So, can you tell me a little bit about how long it took to expand into a bigger space and how to manage that? The reason I ask is because oftentimes um, I see some people that want to take a business that functions really well in a small space, right? But then they want to duplicate it by getting a larger space, thinking that that larger space will bring them more revenue, but they've had a lot of experience managing the smaller space and they understand how that dynamic works, but then they want to go right to the larger space. So it sounds like you gradually moved into a larger space. And can you tell me how you decided to do that and when it was time to move into a bigger space, right?
We did. We took it as a gradually through the years. I think the first expansion we did uh, after 10 years,
Okay.
9 to 10 years.
Right.
Uh, After we knew 100% we are in success in this business, we start looking ahead into the future,
Okay.
expanding the store into bigger. So we expanded the store 3 times.
Mm.
With those currency exchange, the first time we
Mhm.
bought those, we demolished it, we made the store bigger.
Okay.
And then after that, it used to be next to our building, it
Mhm.
used to be a brake company, 10,000 square foot brake company. They used to make brakes in here and a Polish restaurant next to it. So we went to the city and we heard it's uh, for sale. They couldn't pay the taxes on it. And we bought that honestly for a cheap price.
Right. Right.
Then we thought to do the third expansion, which is we thought Humboldt Park really needs it. We are the only ones on the street. And with the support of the community, honestly, Manny, that's why we're where we are.
Right.
They supported us all the way till this day.
Yeah.
And thanks to them, thanks to the Puerto Rican community, thanks to the Latin community, uh, that's where we are right now. Then we decided to cut the store in half, make a laundromat for the community, and move into the 10,000 square foot building, which is exactly where the 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 that's how the building is structured right now.
Right.
The laundromat and the supermarket.
Right. That's quite the journey, and what I really got from that I think a lot of entrepreneurs and business people listening or watching could get from that is that nothing happens overnight. It sounded like you had extreme dedication to what you were doing. You believed in what you were doing, and you were very patient with the results. And on top of that, I see it in the community here that people genuinely love you, love the store. That like you are really involved within the community. And I know we talked briefly when I first met you that your brother was involved with the community. And I believe there's a sign that's one of the street signs that actually has his name on it because he was so involved with beautifying that particular area that he was honored with that sign. And for those that might not know that or might have seen the sign and not know about that, can you share a little bit about
Well, uh, after the success in this community,
that?
and after all this uh, support the community gave us,
Mm-hmm.
uh, my brother got involved with small business association. I mean DSBDA,
DSPD, right?
which is the Small Business Association and Division,
Right.
and he became the president of the association. And matter of fact, those Spanish lights on Division,
Mm-hmm.
he asked the city to put them on. And those beautiful trees we have on between Western and California, he asked the city to plant those trees.
Yeah.
And uh, God bless his soul. In 2004, he got diagnosed with cancer,
Okay.
and he passed away in 2006.
Okay.
Uh, so the alderman and Jose Lopez and Gutierrez in those days, Roberto Maldonado, the alderman, they decided to honor him before he passed away, and that's how they put his name on Rockwell as an honor, and it's still there. One more thing, Manny, I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
tell you, and who was listening.
Yeah.
Uh, this is how we took this business. We didn't take it as making money and leave every day.
Right.
We took it as if I eat from this place, I want to, and I eat good, I want to serve the community and my customers the same way I eat.
Right. Right.
And the same way they treated me, I treated them. They, matter of fact, they love us in this community. Honestly, they really do, and we have a lot of respect for them, and they have a lot of respect for us. And that's how it is. We gave them good food. I gave my family good food.
Right.
That's how we took
Right.
it.
That's a
And
beautiful way of looking at it. Yeah.
yeah, it was a different feeling. There's a lot of stores they open in communities, they open and close and they leave and they make their money or they don't make any money and they leave.
Yeah.
But we took it differently way. We took it family way.
Mm-hmm. And it shows. It definitely shows. It really does. I
Yes.
visited there a few times, and I can feel that atmosphere when you walk in. And then I know that you're celebrating 40 years of business. you know, thinking back on your journey, thinking about everything you've been through, seeing the neighborhood change, all of this, how does it feel, to be celebrating 40 years?
Honestly, it feels great. It feels great.
Right,
I feel sad also because my brother is not with me.
right, right, right.
He's he is part of this and part of all the success we did.
Yeah,
At the same time, I feel proud. I brought in my two sons into this business,
mhm,
Maher and Murad,
yeah.
and they learned this business fast. And now they took over. I come in here, they call me the old man now. I come here just to help them out. If they do something wrong, I lead them into the right things. But thanks God, they carry on the same business, the same mentality to serve the Puerto Rican community and the Latin community in Humboldt Park. And thanks God, I'm very proud of them.
That's
Honestly, I
amazing.
am.
And you have more than one day off now, right?
Yeah.
You finally have more than one day off. That's amazing.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, yeah, that's a
It's
beautiful
it's
thing, you
time
know?
it's time to retire, but I don't want to retire. I'm not gonna listen to them.
Right, right. And then along these years, I'm sure you've had a lot of conversation with people, maybe some mentors or people trying to help you out through your business journey. What's the best piece of business advice that you have been given throughout these years?
Uh, Again, Manny, please.
Yeah. What would you say has been the best business advice that someone has given you throughout your years in business?
Uh, Work for yourself, work hard, and we always learned if you work for yourself, you'll be very success in life. Working for someone else is gonna be hard.
Yeah.
That's how we learned. That's how was work hard, work for yourself, and get a business plan. These days is easier
Mm-hmm.
to get into business than before. Before, if you didn't have no money, you couldn't get in.
Yeah.
But now, banks, institutions, SPA, they all offer the opportunity to so you could get in business.
Yeah. Absolutely. So to sum up what you just said, work for yourself, work hard, and you'll be a success. So working for yourself doesn't mean you don't work hard. A lot of people think, working for yourself, it's a party, it's vacation. It's not. You got to work hard with that. So that's amazing that you said that.
True.
Um, and then finally, Siad, any words of advice for our entrepreneurs and business owners out there, aside from the I guess you could say the day to day of working hard. Anything else that you've learned that you think entrepreneurs and business owners should learn or should know, actually?
Well, again, uh, there's a lot of opportunities out there. Go for it. Contact yourself with banks. Make business plans, and
Mm-hmm.
again, work for yourself hard. Unite yourself with someone you trust, like me and my brother. The trust will never end, even
Yeah,
after his death.
yeah,
Trust your sons, trust your brother. Work together, work hard, put more hours into the business,
mm-hmm.
and believe me, you'll make it. Uh, we are in a bad situation right now concerning the coronavirus,
Right,
but we will go through it. We cannot give up. It's gonna go away, and I hope soon. So my advice to people wants to get in business, talk to banks, talk to SBA, talk to anyone who could lend you money to stand on your feet and work for yourself. It's easier today than before.
There you go. And before we go, I just want to say thank you so much, Ziad, for doing this. I know that you have a big week coming up with the 40-year anniversary. And I know you're looking forward to that and many more years in business and passing this down generation after generation. So once again, Ziad, thank you so much for doing this and being a part of this and being a part of the community for so long and giving your all. Ziad's Municipal Supermarket is located right on the corner of Division and Rockwell. And you can't miss it. It's right on the corner. It's a beautiful building. You can get all of your verduras there, all of the recao, make your sofrito, the malanga, all that good stuff. So
La
La
fruteria de la
fruteria,
municipal.
exactly. There you go. Sia, before we go, anything that you wanted to share, anything in regards to your 40-year anniversary, anything like that?
I just want to say, keep coming to your home and to your store. And me and my kids are honored to serve you as Latin community and as a Puerto Rican community. And will continue from as me and my brother created this business. Now I have two sons, which is brothers, will continue my uh, uh, dreams to serve you forever, inshallah.
Beautiful, Sia. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone who's either watching or listening. Once again, this is the conclusion of episode one for the Puerto Rican Cultural Center Business Initiatives podcast. My name is Emmanuel Davila, program coordinator for the Small Business Development Center located at 2606 West Division. And we help entrepreneurs and business owners, established business owners, et cetera, with business advising, marketing plan guidance. We also help with accessing financing and capital, like Ziad mentioned, to help you try to locate some financing, whether it's through the SBA or an alternative lender or some alternative financial means. So if anyone needs anything from us, we're more than happy to help you. And once again, thank you so much, Ziad, for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
Good
you.
day.
Bye-bye.